How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ruffle Rowlet and welcome to a brand new video. Now today guys, we're going to be talking about something that I'm quite interested in. Now what we will be taking a look at today is going to be Pokemon Switch, the game that's going to be coming up this year, hopefully, or 2019, and what is going to be based around. So with asking this question, I want to answer the question by taking a look at some fan-made concepts and ideas and what would be pretty cool to see, and of course basing these things on certain areas in the real world. So let's get started today with taking a look at some concepts made by the creators called Devil D-Man and R. James on DeviantArt. Now, as I'm about to start this, keep in mind these are based on their work, so I will link their stuff down below. They made concepts for a game called Pokemon Scorched and Arid Gust. You can check out their work down below, so just keep that in mind, as if you're seeing the designs on the screen here, if you want to see them in full proper quality and also give some credit and love to these guys, just go to the links in the description down below. Every single link will be down below for every single image used. Just check down there, you'll find them. So all credit goes to them for all the creations, and let's get started. So to start things off, one of the places that would be pretty cool to base the next region off of would be Egypt, and we could potentially have some of the coolest terrain ever if we do this. Now if we take a look at something like Assassin's Creed Origin that was released last year, you can see that as an example game that it does look beautiful. The terrain and the area and just the places you visit are just beautiful. The surroundings are easily some of the coolest, and I would definitely want to play in that sort of scenery in Egypt. And it's just beautiful because you have so many beautiful rivers, you have villages, you have desolate deserts, you have amazing mountains, and as well as just like some amazing cities and a lot of cities next to it, like, you know, water and that sort of stuff. It looks genuinely beautiful, and overall there is a kind of way to Egypt that I just love, and that's kind of the geography. Like the general area there is just beautiful, a lot of beauty to it, and that's what's something I would definitely want to see in a potential Pokemon game. Now one of the issues with a region based on Egypt is that it may lack in a few areas, like something like snow and more grassy terrains that are usually, you know, needed for a Pokemon game, because usually all Pokemon games have that one area with a tad bit of snow, maybe not much, but just a tad bit, or a bit of a colder area. This, you know, it's kind of always slightly there, but you know, this sort of place would lack that, but there could probably be a workaround for that as well. You never know. Either way, that's one of the things, but also it would require a bit of a grassy area with more grass, and of course a bit of high technology, because we do see higher technology in every Pokemon game. Of course, that's not necessary. It can be implemented into the culture, because no Pokemon game is ever based, like, it never bases itself 100% on its real life influence. It never does 100%. It usually takes, like, you know, 70, 60, 50% of the real life influence, and then does its own thing and, you know, adds in things to culture, you know, its own region sort of. So I do like that aspect. Now let's take a look at some of the amazing artwork that could potentially look really awesome for a game like this. So the first one we'd show here is this legendary Fakemon called Sephiawal, which has a Anubis style design to it, which I think is just beautiful. Now Anubis is one of the Egyptian gods type of things, and it basically is so freaking cool. And if you think about it, Anubis being a god makes sense, and, you know, having him as a character, or, you know, as a representation of a Pokemon, this makes sense in my head, because, you know, if you think about Egypt, you think about the Egyptian gods, and you think about the pyramids and that sort of stuff, and that's a huge part of the Egyptian culture, and I think it would be really cool to just kind of include that there. And this design was by Devil D-Man and R. James. Again, I'm going to make sure to mention that. Check them out down below in the, you know, description. But either way, let's go to the next one. Now, this is the other legendary, and it's called Horkon, and this is also made by the same people, and I have to say, it's a very clean and beautiful design. I just really do think this one looks just genuinely amazing. I'm not sure what the influence is for this owl Pokemon. If you do know the influence, please let me know in the comments down below, but I think it's a great design, and I do think that the aesthetic that it has fits the sort of Egyptian god thing to it, so it fits in well, and it's a good counterpart for the other Pokemon, so it's not too bad, and I do think it's a great design in general. And next up is another design by R. James, and this one actually shows the evil team called Team Rebirth and a few of their grunts. Now what's really cool about these guys is that they're actually wearing garments that are very reminiscent of old Egyptian clothing, and also they're wearing cloth which is similar to like the mummy cloth that you see on their faces. Like when they, you know, put together mummies or put the cloth around them, that's the same cloth they have on their face and also on their arms and their legs. And it's very cool because honestly, they look amazing with this, and it fits in with the theme, and that's really important. And it's, you know, it's got to fit, and it makes sense with these guys. And I can already imagine how these guys and these grunts would be working for some higher up person and trying to take over one of the legendary, you know, take one of the legendaries and use them to, you know, dominate the world. Like, I think that's a cool concept, and I would love to see something like that. And then you have, of course, some admins. You have Team Rebirth admins, which are, you know, this evil team here, and they're wearing some interesting garments as well. They are wearing like kind of Egyptian-alike sort of clothings on them, and also they have face paintings that are very similar to like Egyptian gods. They also have this sort of face painting that you see on Farah from Overwatch, which is also pretty cool. And there's loads more artworks that can really show you from these guys from R. James's page that is linked down below. Again, I'm just going to make sure to mention that, and also Devil Demon's DeviantArt, you can check them all down there. But I think that's really the most I want to show you from their work. And in general, I just want to ask your opinions, guys. What do you think about this idea of seeing, you know, this Egyptian region for Generation 8? I don't know if that would ever happen, if it would ever happen, not even Generation 8, but any future generation. I don't know if that will ever happen, though I would love to see it, or even a fan game would be decent enough, if we could get it. It'd be actually beautiful. But I want to know your opinions, guys, of having an Egyptian-based region. Would you want to see that? Let me know in the comments down below. And also, let me know what are some other countries and parts of the world that you would want to see a video about, and us discussing what could potentially be cool for that part of the world and how a region like that would look like. Let me know in the comments down below. What is the next video you want to see? What is the next region you want us to talk about? Or rather, not region, but rather maybe the country you want us to base the Generation 8 region on, and talk about it, and talk about concepts and ideas. So let me know in the comments down below, guys, and thank you for today. I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace out and have a great day, and bye-bye.